Hello and welcome back everybody to Everlasting Summer. So, we found the gate that we saw in the dream, and I suppose we are now going to meet our pioneer comrades. Supposedly. Sovyonok means owlet. Sovyonok. Oh, that's what the gate says. Oh Jesus, I don't even want to know, I probably read that completely wrong. Oh jeez. A brick wall and its gates crowned with the Sovyonok sign, statues of pioneers standing on either side, and a road sign nearby showing the bus route number 410. The trip is taking a bit too long today, I smirked. A person may start acting inappropriately in extreme situations. Something like that is probably happening to me now. This place didn't look abandoned at all. No rust on the gates, no damage to the walls. Sovyonok. What could have a name like that? Judging by the pioneer statues, it could be a kid's summer camp. Moreover, it appears to be open. Of course, the simplest explanation, logically speaking, explains nothing at all. The strange wow, I just moved to Texas. The strange girl, the altered bus, summer, the pioneer camp. Thousands of theories went through my mind instantly. From alien abduction to lethargic sleep. From a hallucination to a time and space shift. None was worse than the other, but there was really no way to pick a single one. Then it occurred to me. I can try to make a phone call. I took out my cell phone and dialed the first number from my contact list. But instead of signal strength bars, the screen was showing a thick cross. Alright, there may be no signal in such a remote place. Though I cannot be the only one who came here. Buses don't drive themselves. I examined the bus from all the sides to make sure that it wasn't a hallucination. Bits of dirt on the bottom, some rust here and there, faded paint and worn out tires. No, this is definitely a very ordinary Icarus. Yeah. Exactly the kind of bus which takes you to places beyond your understanding if you carelessly fall asleep. Ah, is that a thing in Russia, I wonder? I gave a nervous chuckle. It came out by itself, sporadically, because this wasn't the right place or time to laugh. But where on earth is the driver? I cautiously sat down on the curb beside the bus and started to wait. While you wait, I take a sip of tea. Ah, delicious. Oh, sorry if you heard that. You probably heard that. Sorry. It's black tea with vanilla in it. Not French vanilla, though. We don't have this in Germany, really. It's strange. My patience didn't last long. My anxiety seemed to have reached its peak, and I started to go slightly mad. In such a situation, anyone would have probably felt something similar. Aliens in parallel universes were gone from my imagination, leaving only void and darkness. Is this how everything will end? How my life will end? But I wanted to do so much. There were so many things that I had no time for yet. To be honest, up till now you didn't do that much. So just between you and me, you're probably lying to yourself. I was overwhelmed by the idea, and this was definitely the end. But why? It's not fair. Surely I'm no worse than anyone else. God, why? Hey, don't shift the blame. Who knows whose fault that is? Tears were burning my eyes unbearably. I curled up and started rolling in the grass. Okay, I can scream, but, middle of the night and stuff, but why? What did I do? Why me? But my cries were only heard by the speechless statues of the pioneers, and a bird on a tree, which immediately flapped its wings and took off, crying out something in its own bird language, as if laughing at the idiot who dared to interrupt its after-dinner nap. I was left breathless from weeping, and just lay quietly, sobbing occasionally. You know, the blinking goes a little bit on my nerves, to be honest. All this, it goes black and then it's back again there. I hope this stops anytime soon. This goes a little bit on my nerves. But I like the game though. I'm not shitting on it. Yet. No, I'm actually a nice guy. Believe me, please. After a while, I managed to pull myself together. My mind cleared up a bit, as if terror and the fear to death gave me a little break. All in all, if someone wanted to kill me, what is all this for? It doesn't look like an experiment either. If this is just some crazy coincidence, then there's probably no threat. Anyway, for now it seems there is no danger. The panic was soon gone. Of course, the blood was still pounding in my temples, and my hands were still shaking, but at least I could think clearly now. Right now, there's nothing I can really change anyway. So no matter how much I think, or how mad I get, it would only make things worse. Until some actual facts appear, there's really no point in making guesses. In any case, I won't learn anything by longing about here. This camp, if of course it really is a camp, looked like the only place where people could be, so I decided to go there, and hardly had I reached the gates when a girl came out from behind them. Oh, hello. So you're the first person I'm going to meet. Wearing a pioneer uniform. My logic didn't let me down this time. Then again, a pioneer uniform in the 21st century. And then again, a girl. Here. I froze, unable to take a step. I felt very much like running away. Running as far away as I could from this place. Far from this bus, gates, statues, and far from this bloody bird with its siesta. Man, don't blame the birds, not the birds' fault. Just running, free like the wind, faster and faster, waving to the planets passing by, winking at the galaxies. Running, becoming a pulsar ray, and turning into vestigial radiation, running to the face of unknown. Running to face the unknown. Sorry, my bad. Run no matter where, as long as it is far away from this place. Meanwhile, the girl came close and smiled. I could not help but notice her beauty, even though I was trembling with fear. She has very dark skin, but judging from the cutscene we've seen before, everybody here has very dark skin. At least it seems to me that way. You know, in visual novels you are so used to all these light-skinned people. So maybe it's just me expecting the normal anime cliché. Human instincts work independent of consciousness, and while only 5% of the brain is responsible for cognitive process, the remaining 95% are always busy sustaining life, and in particular, ensuring stable functioning of the hormonal system. I desperately want to get less complicated, and stop thinking in formal quotes from an encyclopedia, though my thoughts appeared one by one, being stupid, out of place, as if taken from an internal monologue of the hero of some junky softcover crime fiction book. Hey, you know, it's your fault that you're acting that way. Also, fourth wall joke. Well, I'm not too. I'm fond of fourth wall jokes if, you know, everything is a fourth wall joke. But just randomly in here, you know, not my cup of tea. Talking about cups of tea. Alright, there we go. A pretty Slavic face, long braids that looked like 2 armfuls of fresh hay, and blue eyes you could drown in. Hi, you must have just arrived. Yeah, of course we reply. Who in the world would not reply? Yeah. Alright then, welcome. She smiled broadly. Strange. It looked as if I had just a normal girl in front of me. Bah, I shouldn't have returned here. The woods and fields seemed better. Why does he hate women? I mean, we all know he didn't have a girl in a long time, and he was alone for a very long time, but maybe he still thinks she's an alien overlord or something. But what shall I do next? Try to speak with her as if she was human, or run away, or what? The blood was pumping unbearably in my head, tearing it apart from the inside. A little bit more and the poor pioneer girl would be splattered with the gruesome contents of my skull. What's so funny about that? The girl looked me over. It sent shivers down my spine, and my knees started to tremble. Nothing. Great then. Great. What's so great about that? Suddenly a thought crossed my mind. To hell with it all. Forget about the bus behind me. The fact that it was winter yesterday and summer today. I wanted to rip off my itchy sweater and just accept that all this is actually happening. Everything is as it should be. All this is for the best. Well, for now, reasonable decision. Let's see what's going on here and then we can make decisions. Would you happen to know? You should go to our camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look, you go straight ahead to the square, then turn left. You'll see several small cabins. She pointed at the gates, as if I knew what was behind them. Dmitrievna is a patronymic, a derivative of a person's father name, in this case Dimitri, put by Russians after the person's first name as a sign of respect or formal address. Ah, I see. Dimitri. Ah, okay. So, well, you can ask someone where Olga Dmitrievna's cabin is. Whoa, I'm going to fight with these names. Don't get me wrong though, I love Russian, and I love the Russian language. Actually, that's one language I always wanted to learn, but never did. Got it? Of course I didn't. Well, I've got to go now. Bye. The girl waved her hand at me and disappeared through the gates. It seemed as if to her I was something ordinary. And all this show with the bus and the travels while awake or asleep were troubling only to me, while everything here is just the way it is supposed to be. Camp leader, pioneer uniform. What are they doing? A historical reenactment here? I hope I won't find Lenin standing atop an armored car in this square. Probably you will. But even that would not surprise me right now. After standing alone for a while, I headed into the camp. A mere 50 meters ahead, a small one-story house popped up on the left side. The sign near the door said clubs. I was about to come closer. Oh wow, next person. You look kinda strange. The yellow, not yellow, purple, there we go. The purple hair, not so Russian. But on the other hand, it's not so Japanese, so I let it pass. When the door suddenly opened and a short girl wearing a pioneer uniform came out. By the way, pretty sure in the Soviet Union you did not wear skirts like these. They are way too short. Her pretty face gave me the impression of one suffering for the fate of the whole of mankind with a truly universal sorrow. Weltschmerz. German word. If you watched the Big Bang Theory, you know what it means. And if not, you can Google it. WELTSCHMERZ. There you go. As soon as she saw me, the girl froze, as if frightened. I froze too, considering what was the best to do. To approach first or wait until she showed me some initiative. Damn it. Or maybe run away after all. Although this last option was constantly being suggested only by my self-preservation instinct, at least that's what I'd like to believe. Not the worst human instinct, but far from the most logical. If this instinct played poker against deductive abilities, the outcome would be predetermined. That was a good one. And those deductive abilities, or at least their semblance, were hinting to me that there was no need to be afraid of this girl. First of all, wow, music is loud. Suddenly, somebody jumped out of the nearby bushes. Second, you look very strange. And I'm not sure that these hot pants existed in old Mother Russia, in the Soviet Union. A girl wearing a bread-dry t-shirt with USSR written on it. Such a perfect reproduction of the age. She looked quite short from a distance, and was probably younger than both pioneer girls, the one at the gates and this girl at the door of the clubs. At least I decided to come closer, but the USSR, as I called her in my mind, jumped towards the first girl and started telling her something while widely waving her arms. The other girl in turn seemed confused and lowered her gaze, remaining silent. I would have probably continued to observe their amusing dialogue, but the USSR suddenly pulled something out of her pocket and started waving it in front of the first girl's face. Oh jeez. The something turned out to be a grasshopper. Eee! The first girl squealed. She must not be too keen on insects, as Excuse me, I have to drink. You know, I ate too much today, that's why I'm drinking tea. I don't know if that works like that, but at least we can try. She must be not too keen on insects, as she instantly rushed off towards the place where Lenin presumably made a speech about the workers' and peasants' revolution. Not gonna lie, I don't think that is true. And I don't think most of the people who read the visual novel get this. This is to say, towards the square. The USSR glanced at me, grinned playfully, and dashed after her. Probably the guys who played it in Russia know at least about Lenin and speeches and stuff. Not a bad start to the day. I have absolutely no clue where I am. Besides that, there are some kids here role-playing as pioneers. And as far as I can tell, this place is located thousands of kilometers away from my home. It might even be a different reality. And this was indeed a reality. I mean, everything around me seemed so real, if a little embellished, that I was starting to think that in fact my precious life could have been just a dream. And what am I supposed to do now? Go to Olga Dmitrievna or something like that. I call her Olga for now. I was picking at the cracked paving stones with my shoe and staring aimlessly at the club's building. Just a few more seconds before I have to come up with some decision. That's when I recalled myself rolling on the grass, weeping. I cringed in disgust. Perhaps it's another instinct. When all energy from whimpering and self-pitying is used up, the body either goes into hibernation or mobilizes its reserves. True that. Mine seemed to have chosen the second option, because out of the blue, I found the determination to figure out what was going on. And in order to do that, I had to act like a man. Like a human. Ha! Pun. I don't know if this pun actually exists in Russian, probably not. To maintain the dignity of a representative of my own world. I followed the path to the left, on the right side of which stood small cabins, apparently the homes of the local pioneers. Actually, they looked quite cozy from the outside. Even though I was born in the Soviet Union, I had never been a part of its children's organization, neither the pioneers nor even the younger October children. I imagined the daily... Yeah, you would be actually pretty old if you would have. I presumed you are like 20, 21, 22, something like that. Maybe a bit older. I imagined the daily life of a typical pioneer camp a bit differently. Huge barracks with long rows of metal bunks, wake-up call at 6 o'clock played by a siren, 1 minute to make your bed, and then joining the formation at the drill square. Oh wait, could I be confusing it with something else? Yeah, that sounds like the Hitler Youth, but I know, to be honest, I have no idea about pioneers and shit. I'm from West Germany, so I have no parents who can tell me about that. I don't think it... I don't know, before I assume anything, I'll just go on reading. Suddenly something struck me on the back. I staggered but remained on my feet, turned around and prepared to fight heroically for my life. Okay, not gonna lie, I am pretty sure this wasn't allowed as well in a pioneer camp. But all I found was another girl standing before me. My mouth hung open in surprise. Pick your jaw off the ground. I closed my mouth. The same pioneer uniform, but the way she was wearing it looked, let's say, provocative. Provocative, I don't know. She wanted to provoke. Like all the girls I had met her here before, this one was rather cute, but the overly arrogant expression killed any desire to get to know her better. New here, are you? So you're the tsundere or whatever. Fine. See ya. She threw a threatening glance at me and walked past. Well, that doesn't really seem threatening. It seems strange. Oh well. I waited for the pioneer girl to turn at the corner. Who knows what else she might have been up to. The most interesting thing was that even this hostile girl seemed completely normal to me. She did not give off the feeling of some deadly danger. Except maybe the danger of getting punched in the nose. At last, I managed to make it to the square. This is not Lenin, I can tell as much. Who is that, though? There was no Lenin on an armored car, although one could easily expect something like that after all this had happened. Instead, however, a monument to a certain comrade towered in the middle of the square. The letters on the pedestal read Genda. Must be some big figure in the party. I don't know. Never heard of him. Maybe he was some kind of minister or something, I don't know. Anyway, there were some small benches at the sides. It's quite pleasant here. Where did that girl tell me to go? To the left or to the right? To the left or to the right? To the left, to the right, to the... Please don't let me decide. I don't know anymore. And why am I going there anyway? Alright, I've decided to pretend to be normal. So to the right. Thank you. I totally didn't remember anymore. Through a small grove. I came out at a pier. I must have taken a wrong turn. Hey! Wrong way! I turned towards the voice. Quelle surprise! Quelle surprise! And, just between you and me, I'm not too sure bikinis were a thing. I don't know, it's probably the 80s. Were bikinis a thing in the Soviet Union? So much speculation. The first girl stood before me. Oh wow, the music is like, okay, give me a sec. The first girl stood before me. Now what did I tell you? Take a left at the square, wasn't it? She had changed from a pioneer uniform into a bikini. Oh, I still haven't introduced myself, and now that I'm half naked, it's the best time to do that. My name is Slavia. Actually, my full name is Slaviana, but everyone just calls me Slavia. Sounds like slave, if you're into that. Jesus, I hate myself for that one. So you can too. Yeah. I still felt a bit confused, so I could not come up with more meaningful answers. Come on, I'm making the seducer voice. You have to work with me, dude. And what's your name? It felt like she could see right through me. Semyon. Nice to meet you, Semyon. Alright, I'm almost done here. Could you wait here a minute? I'm going to change, and we'll go to Olga Dmitrievna together, agreed? Agreed. Okay, that wasn't worth a sexy voice. After this exchange, she ran off. I sat on the pier and let my feet hang into the water. I was wearing heavy winter boots, but in such weather, there was nothing wrong in getting my feet wet. Furthermore, it let me cool myself a little off. Looking at the river, I was brainstorming and processing everything that has happened. If this is some kind of conspiracy, it's a weird one, even too friendly at times. No, it really looks... shit. It looks more like a random event. Okay, it's a really sad random event. Some entirely incomprehensible random event. Shall we go? Whoa, that was fast. Amazing. You've got a talent, lady. Slavia was standing beside me, dressed in the pioneer uniform again. Let's go. I've been here for a very short time, but of all the people I've met, she looks the least suspicious. However, this fact is already suspicious itself. Man. I mean, if I was in another dimension, I probably would suspicious too. On the other hand, he really thinks everyone is a traitor or something like that. We walk to the square. The USSR girl and the girl who hit me on the back were there, chasing each other. Is that some kind of game they're playing? Ulyana, enough running. I'll tell everything to Olga Dmitrievna. Aye, aye, Captain. Oh, that was the little girl, I suppose. Oh well. I decided not to question Slavia for a while about what was going on or the local residents. Better meet with this mysterious Olga first. Sounds like she is the boss here. We walked past the rows of almost identical cabins, some of which looked like fat beer barrels. A bit. Nah, not really. Maybe like half beer barrels? Oh well. While others looked more like household sheds. Finally, Slavia stepped in front of a smallish one-story cabin. It looked like an artist's painting. The faded paint, chipping here and there with age, was sparkling in the sun. The window shutters, slightly ajar, were swaying almost unnoticeably in the wind. And huge lilac bushes were growing at the sides. It seems it seemed as if this ramshackle hut was drowning in a storm of purple silk, and the lilacs, like some elemental force, were inexorably destroying the troop leader's house. Jesus, that was a sentence with a lot of complicated words to pronounce. What are you standing around for? Let's go. Yeah, we'll go, Slavia, we'll go, but in the next episode. So, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next part. We want to meet Olga Dmitrievna, or however you pronounce that. I'm going to say Olga from now on. And yeah, let's see what happens. This game seems really, really interesting. I wonder why he's there, if that is a dream or not. And as mentioned, it's probably a dating sim, so we will probably end up with someone. I wonder if this is going to be a game like, in the end I have to decide, do I go back to my world or do I stay in this world? It's going to be interesting. I'll say that. And I like the art and the writing. So, thumbs up so far. Anyway, see you in the next episode. Bye bye.